Okay, you guys have learned about the zero product power before. As a reminder, the zero product property states anything times 0 is 0. So if I have A times B equals 0, then that means that either A or B has to be 0. The zero product property states that anything times 0 is 0. So if I have A times B equals 0, that means one of those has to be 0, A or B. So we're going to use this to help us solve quadratics today. Okay, example 1 is going to say find the zeros. Okay, 1a, f of x equals x minus 15 times x plus 7 equal to 0. So change f of x to be 0. So what you want to do is you want to see if one of these can equal 0. So what you're just going to do is take the two factors. Factors are things that multiply together to be a product. You're going to take them both and make them equal to 0. So the x minus 15 will equal 0, and then the x plus 7 will equal 0. Because if I can make one of them equal 0, then I can solve this to be equal to 0. Okay, so now we're just going to solve these two equations. Most of these you can do in your head. I'm going to show all the steps because there's always somebody that needs it. But hopefully you get to the point where you're just doing this step in your head. Okay, look at the side that has the x. To get rid of minus 15, I add 15, so add it to the other side. So x equals positive 15. And then solve the other equation. Look at the side that has the variable. Get rid of the other term. So to get rid of a positive 7, we subtract 7. So x is 15 or x is negative 7. And what that just means is those are the zeros. Those are the x-intercepts. If you were to graph this and look at the graph, like let's say like here would be 15, maybe here would be negative 7. This quadratic, and I'm just guessing, is going to be something like that. So it's going to hit at negative 7 and it's going to hit at 15. So that's what finding the zeros just mean. That's where it's going to hit on the x-axis. Okay, let's try another one like that. Okay, 1b. F of x equals 2 times x plus 1 times x plus 23. So when things are touching, it's multiplying. So this says 2 times x plus 1 times x plus 23. So there's 3 factors here. There's 3 things getting multiplied. So really it's 0 equals 2, and then we're going to multiply that by x plus 1 and multiply that by x plus 23. You're going to take each one of those factors and make it equal to 0. There's 3 factors. There's a 2, then there's the x plus 1, and then the last factor is the x plus 23. So you're going to make each one equal to 0. So 2 equals 0. Does 2 equal 0? Is 2 the same as the number 0? No. So that answer just doesn't make sense, so just cross it off, because that there's nothing to do with that part. Okay, then we can do the x plus 1 equals 0, and then we can do the x plus 23 equals 0. Okay, if you can do those in your head, do them in your head. I'm going to show the work for those people that still need the work shown. So x plus 1 equals 0. I look at the side that has the x. I want to get rid of the other term, so get rid of plus 1 by subtracting 1. So that means x is the number -1. And then solve that last factor. Subtract 23 from both sides, bless you. And I get x is -23. So x can be -1 and x can also be -23. So if you graphed this, it would hit that x-axis, the parabola would hit the x-axis twice. Okay, now you're going to do some on your own, or you can do it with a friend. F of x equals x minus 10 times x minus 6. You should have x equals the number 10 and x equals positive 6. Questions on that one? Okay, let's do another one. F of x equals 7 times x minus 13 times x plus 12. Okay, 7 does not equal 0, so just cross that one off. That doesn't make sense. The answers are x is 13 and x is -12. Questions on those ones? Easy. Okay, last one is example 2. It's the word problems. This is a nice short lesson. And it's just going to say to solve the word problem. Okay, so we're talking about a diver at a pool. The height of one diver above the water during a dive can be modeled by the equation blah, 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 where h is the height in feet and t is time in seconds. Find the time it takes for the diver to reach the water. Okay, so we're talking about somebody diving into the water. The equation is h equals -4 times 4t plus 5 times t minus 3. So this is the equation to figure out how long it takes for the diver to dive off the diving board and hit the water. H is the height in feet, t is time in seconds. So we're going to set this equal to 0. And then you're going to take each one of those factors. Right now there's 3 factors. -4 is a factor, 4t plus 5 is a factor, and t minus 3 is a factor. Remember, factors mean what do you multiply together to get to an answer to a product. So you're going to take each one of those factors and set it equal to 0. So -4 equals 0, 4t plus 5 equals 0, and then t minus 3 equals 0. Okay, again, we're talking about a diver diving into the water. And how many seconds does it take? So -4 equals 0, no. The number -4 is not the same as the number 0. So that just doesn't make sense. Okay, we can solve this one. Look at the side that has the variable. We have to get rid of the other term first. So go ahead and get rid of positive 5. So instead of adding 5, you're going to subtract 5. If you subtract 5 from one side, do it to the other side. So I have 4t equals -5. And then look at the side that has the t. Right now it says 4 times t. So to undo multiplying by 4, we're going to divide by 4. So t equals -5/4, or 5 divided by 4 is 1.25, so it could be -1.25 0.25 seconds. So remember, we're talking about a diver diving into the water. So this one's saying that it would take negative 1.25 seconds. Okay, does that make sense? Is it going to be negative time to dive into the pool? Okay, that you're not going back in time. So this answer we're going to cross off because it doesn't make sense. So if you're diving off the diving board, it's not going to take negative time to hit the water. So just cross that one off. Okay, and then solve this last one. Add 3 to both sides. So I get t equals 3. So that means it takes 3 seconds to hit the water, and that does make sense. So that one is going to be our answer. So for the word problems, you have to think about what actually makes sense for the situation. And a lot of times you're going to get a positive and a negative answer. So make sure if it's a word problem, the negative answers typically don't make sense. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, this one is a golf ball. Okay, the height of a golf ball after it's been hit from the top of a hill can be modeled by the equation, blah, 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 where h is the height in feet and t is the time in seconds. How long is the ball in the air? Okay, so the equation they gave us is h equals negative 8 times 2t minus 4 times t plus 1. So we're going to set that equal to 0. There are 3 factors. Negative 8 is a factor, 2t minus 4 is a factor, and t plus 1 is a factor. So this one has 3 things that are being multiplied to be 0. So take each factor and set it equal to 0. Negative 8 equals 0 doesn't make sense. 2t minus 4 equals 0. I'll solve that in a second. And then t plus 1 equals 0. Okay, let's solve this middle one. Look at the side that has the variable. Get rid of minus 4 first. So add 4 to both sides. I have 2t equals 4. And then to get t by itself, I'm going to divide by 2. So I get t equals 2. So the question was about a golf ball being hit and how long is the ball in the air? The ball is in the air for 2 seconds, and that does make sense. And then let's solve the last factor, is subtracting 1 from both sides. So t would be negative 1 seconds, and that doesn't make sense. Because we're hitting a golf ball, it's not going to be in the air for negative seconds. So cross that one off. Questions on that lesson? That's it for that lesson. It's a nice short one. Okay, your exit ticket is on HMH. You guys can move around and work with friends. And then when you finish it, some of you didn't do the exit ticket from yesterday. So check Power School, see if you owe me anything.